Everybody, it's me again. Before we get to another great interview, please do me a favor and subscribe. It would really help us out. Now let's get to that interview.
Doesn't help.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Today, I'm joined by our good friend and frequent guest, Mark Roberts of the Dead Card. So welcome, Mark.
Hey, guys.
And even better, I've got actor, writer, director, producer, man of many hats, Steve Wollett with me. So welcome, Steve.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, Steve.
Well, you're talking off camera, Steve, about the 12 or 15 different careers that you had before you got into the entertainment business.
Yes, I have done a lot. I get bored and move on to new projects constantly. You know, I mean, come on. What's life about but living?
Well,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's, we got to get into Jack Be Nimble. But before we do that, Steve, tell us a little bit about, what made you get into the entertainment business? You were doing all this other stuff, firefighting, paramedic, all this stuff. What got you into entertainment?
So in 2002, I got cancer and I thought I was going to die. I'd pretty much written everything off and somehow I beat it. And when I beat it, around that time, I won this trip with this guy named Tony Robbins. And me and my wife went and spent a week with him. And
That's
the whole
awesome.
time I was like, man, this dude is so hokey. What the hell, But as the years went on, I realized I started incorporating all the things that he said into my life. And the biggest one was that you got to figure out what you want in life. And what I want in life is to be able to tell a great story. So I started looking at different avenues for telling stories, and it led me into writing books and films and various other things.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. That's like the dream. Everybody has that dream. Very few people actually get to see it to fruition.
That's very true. And the biggest problem that people have for bringing it to fruition is they don't try. We got to do it. Get up and actually do something.
Well, yeah, and that's absolutely true. Most people are too scared to try.
Yeah.
Or they give up too easy.
Fear is a true nail in the coffin for most people. You need to put the fear aside and just jump in. And yes, you probably are going to fail, but that doesn't matter. If you fail, you learn something and you try again.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Nerd Rage News. And I know later it became Furious Nerd Productions, but tell me about that transition and why is this nerd so angry?
All right. So I kept going to conventions. I've been going to gaming conventions all of my life. I've always been a super gamer, mostly tabletop, but I also do a lot of video gaming too. And part of that journey, I've noticed that nerds, while they are great people to hang out with, they are some of the angriest people on the planet. If you just mispronounce something or you something flip out on you. And so I had this guy named Peter Bryant that I game with, and he said, why don't you name your company Nerd Rage News? And I thought it was hilarious. So we designed a logo, this angry guy beating up a book, and we ran off with it. And I started this blog, and we were doing all this. We were doing game reviews. We were writing articles about nerd culture. I was writing about my travels. Every now and then I delve into politics, usually at my own detriment. And in the end, I was finding a fair amount of success with it, but I wanted to stop doing that and focus more on the storytelling. And that's how we became Furious Nerd Productions. We rebranded.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And I actually understand the nerd rage. My son always tells me that I'm a nerd elitist, because we're very particular about the details. If you're nerdy about something, then you kind of get a kick out of correcting people. you know?
Yes.
And then, you know, I get it. I'm the same way. I have to kind of tamp that down a little bit.
Yeah. I've had, you'd be amazed how many arguments I've had over Star Trek, Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you name it. It's like, it's crazy.
Same. What about you, Mark? You got any nerd rage in you?
All the time.
I don't know if I believe you.
That's what led to all this stress that I've been under. So I guess I don't know.
Yeah, that's the wrong type of nerd rage.
I know. I need a better outlet.
Mark seems like a very laid back dude.
He's so laid back. He doesn't have any rage.
I mean,
you know, I've never
occasion,
seen him rage.
On occasion.
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you say.
Gotta count for something. Come on.
So Steve, did I read that, and I think I'm right, but you started a little acting troupe and you guys made like all of the short films. There's like a zillion of them.
Well, no, the acting troupe came about after Jack Be Nimble. So we've done a handful of short films.
Oh, just a handful, but you've been involved in a bunch.
Yes, I've worked with a lot of different filmmakers all over the world, and by working with them, I learned little things here and there. Sometimes I was just helping them out financially. Sometimes I was physically on the set helping. But it was an adventure. I was just trying to learn the industry before I got into actually making my own stuff. I have no education in filmmaking, and the best way to learn if you don't have an education is go find someone who has it.
Yeah, I think that's really smart that you went out there and got your feet wet a little bit before you dived in. That's really smart. That's really smart. So off camera, we were talking about that you actually spent time in the Ukraine doing some film work. Talk about that just a little bit.
Okay, so in July of 2020, I went to Ukraine. I spent a month over there, and I flew into Kyiv, and I met with the attaché to the president. I met with several military personnel and a variety of other strange characters. But it was all about making a film that we're going to film at Chernobyl and at several military bases. As such, I got like a private tour of all these locations. We were in Kyiv, Chernobyl, Kharkiv. We even went into the conflict zone of Luhansk and Donetsk. And it was a kind of a crazy experience because in one part of the country, it felt like it was 1984 in the United States. I mean, it was awesome. It was watching the world come to life. It was capitalism. People were happy. Everywhere I went, they were ignoring all the COVID regulations. So I felt free to do what I want. And people weren't offended no matter what you said. They would say the most offensive things in the world, and that was just normal conversation.
Right.
But then we went into Luhansk, and Luhansk had, a lot of people don't know the history, but Luhansk had separated from the Ukraine. And when you arrive at the border there, it's illegal to cross over without permission from the Ukrainian government, because when you cross over, you're probably going to be robbed as soon as you enter the area.
Oh, wow.
And the people that are living in that territory, they couldn't get passports. They were having a bit of what would you call it? I guess it was rebels shooting at each other. There were pro-Ukrainian rebels and pro-Russian rebels. It was a very strange situation. But the whole experience really made me fall in love with the country. Even the bad parts of the country, there is a lot of really beautiful territory, beautiful people. It's just killing me watching what's going on over there.
Well, that was my next question, because you know the area a little bit. You were over there for a little while. Are you seeing those areas come up on the news now? Is that difficult?
Yeah, I knew if Russia ever did invade, they've been threatening invasion for 8 years, that Luhansk and Donetsk would fall immediately because there's a lot of pro-Russian and Russian people that identify as Russian within those territories. But the rest of the country, I never thought Russia would go after the rest of the country. And I have a lot of friends that are in Kharkiv, and Kharkiv is besieged. They're being shelled every day. And initially I was getting like continuous messages from them, but as power and communication is slowly being cut off, I'm losing communication with many of the people that I know. A friend of mine wrote today and was telling me about this. They were trying to get out of Kharkiv, and they fled. And when they were fleeing, they had signs up in the window saying they had children on board, and their car got shot up. And, someone got shot in the car and bled out.
Yeah, it's just awful. It's just the scenes you're seeing on the news and reading about, it's in the information age. We have access now that we never had before. And it's terrific and terrible both, because you can see what's going on, which helps with the support, but you can see what's going on, which is just devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really reminds me a lot of like World War I and World War II. You have this two countries at war, but you can see the long story. I really suspect this is going to blow over into other countries, and it's just a matter of time. Yeah.
Well, I told you off camera, I'm fearful of the same thing, and let's hope we're wrong. Let's hope that they stay strong and this comes to an end. I'm just praying for it.
Yes, I'm with you 100%. I'd love to see some kind of ceasefire and peace accords be signed, even if Ukraine loses Donetsk and Luhansk. That's better than the rest of the country falling because of this conflict.
Yeah. For sure. So, okay, so let's talk a little more happy stuff. So we'll switch gears. Word from a gamer. Tell me about that, because this one's awesome. I love this.
Because I was doing gaming conventions all the time, I got this idea. Why not go to a gaming convention and interview game designers and players about what got them into games, about the satanic panic of the 1980s, and also interview people that are new gamers and about how there's this transition from this old guard to the new guard, and how games have changed as society has changed. And we interviewed like Frank Metzger and Tim Cass, which were two of the people that were early workers on Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah.
We talked to Mike Pondsmith, who created Cyberpunk, which is like one of the greatest games ever made. God, I can't believe I screwed his name up. Anyway. Jeff Talanian, he created a game called Hyperborea, which is basically the world of Conan the Barbarian.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Great game designers.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, we talked to all these players, people that had won Iron GM competitions and stuff like that. Really cool documentary.
Yeah, I love that idea. Did you get in contact with any of the Gygax family?
I spoke with Luke Gygax and his brother Ernie, but they didn't participate in the film. But we did speak, and we used some of the stuff that they said in the film, but it was other people relaying the information. Yeah.
So were you a D&D guy growing up?
Yeah, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons in 1978. Then I got into like Call of Cthulhu and a bunch of the other things from that time period. We sat down recently and we tried to catalog all the role-playing games, not board games, just role-playing that we've played in our group, and we have 172 of them.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, that's 78 was around the time I started playing too. We started with the box set. Not the red box, but it was more like a blue silver box. So it was an early box, but it wasn't like the manuals that came out in the early 70s. So we were there, and then we switched to second edition when it came out, and that's the one we played up through college. But I mean, that to me, 80s and 90s Dungeons & Dragons, best ever. Best time ever.
I'm completely with you. My early games, we still reminisce about them when we go out and get drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
and I remember the 80s and the whole thing where Dungeons and Dragons was being portrayed as satanic. My grandfather was a Baptist minister, and I remember, and I was in middle school and got called into his study and got the whole speech, about how I wasn't supposed to play this game. He didn't know if I was playing it. He just was going to make sure I didn't. So I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay.
It didn't do any good, did it?
It didn't do any good. It didn't do any good. But yeah, I went. That was a legit parental fear for the 80s.
most definitely. When I joined the Army, I left all my games at home. I came home from basic training and all my stuff was gone. My games, my comic books, everything. Like,
man.
Dad, what happened to my stuff? He says, I burned that stuff. That's the devil. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Man.
Not you, Mark. Did you play any back then?
Yeah, I didn't really know anybody played until probably in the 80s.
Yeah.
So probably about mid 80s.
Yeah, it's still pretty early though.
I mean, because they'd get a game going at lunch at school. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was introduced to it. Because what else are you going to do in the high school cafeteria besides getting a fight or something stupid?
I think that's where we started, was like middle school library, something like that. And then we eventually got to this point where we were playing. We'd start on Friday night and wouldn't quit till Sunday afternoon. Yeah, you might break to sleep for a few hours, but you just play the whole weekend.
That sounds like my games. We'd play at someone's house like Friday through Sunday, and then during the week, some of us would cut school and go to the library, and we'd play at the library.
Yeah. Do you still have those characters?
I have some of them.
Yeah.
A couple of them, I just loved them so much. I've saved those sheets. My favorite character was a paladin. I still have a little booklet with all my adventure notes from him that I saved. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. My son and nephew have started a Call of Cthulhu game here just in the last month or two. So they've been playing that every Friday night. And I was like, ooh, kind of wanted to get in on that, but I didn't ask.
Call of Cthulhu, everyone's going to die.
You're too old for that, Mike.
I know, and that's what I told him. I was like, you can't survive that game. You're like going against, these elder gods with maybe a pistol. I mean, it's that's a tough game. And I know I'm too old.
At this point, we should be the elder gods. See,
right?
Play those games. Yeah, I just recently handed off my fancy crystal dice to my son.
There you go.
He likes
rite of passage.
He has some friends. They're all over the world, and they'll hop on like Zoom, like we are now, and they'll hop on and they'll play, which I found very interesting. So
that's awesome. There was a time when the kids were young that I got them playing in a game where I got to DM, and I brought back all my 80s characters as NPCs and got to use them. That was the best. I don't know if they were impressed, but I had a great time.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, for me, dice collecting is like one of my nerd fetishes. I mean, if I go somewhere, a set of dice, I always want to buy it. I have over 15 pounds of dice in the house.
Do you feel guilty if you're not using, if you got some that you haven't used in a while? Does that make you feel bad? You rotate.
No, but you do have your favorites. You have these certain ones. They're your go-to dice,
Yeah, I know. And you don't want anybody touching those dice.
That is. I just got my daughter and her husband and our production match. Actually, that's her picture on the screen right now.
Nice.
The three of them are playing a D&D campaign with me. They've never played before.
Oh, that's fun. That's when it's fun. Yeah, that's good. Did you have a favorite module growing up? Any of the old modules, were that one of those your favorites?
The one that came in the box set, the Keep on the Borderlands, is
it was a good one.
Absolute favorite module.
I had the bugbears and carrion crawlers.
Yep,
that was a fun one.
Kobolds, goblins, even had Minotaur in there.
Yes, it did. Oh, that was pretty good. Pretty good. The only problem with Keep on the Borderlands is when we all started buying the box set, it was in all the box sets. So we're like, we need more modules. So we wanted them to start mixing it up a little bit. And I think eventually they started putting different ones in different boxes. But yeah, it was a good one.
First box set had B1 in it. The Keep on the Borderland was B2.
That's right.
I don't think I ever saw anything else in them.
What was it? What was the B1? It wasn't Isle of Dread. What was the?
It was what was that one called? Something of the Unknown. There's a tunnel in the Keep on the Borderlands that actually leads to that module.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the box set that I first got, and it was a blue and silver one. I think that's the one. B1 was the one that was in that one. And then later, when we really got into it, we got the kind of the red box set that most people at that time had, and it had Keep on the Borderlands. I'm pretty sure Keep on the Borderlands was the first one I ever played.
Yeah. And they don't make modules like that anymore.
They do not. But I love the hack and slash modules.
I do too. There's a company out there made a module called Rappin' Nathic. Have you ever heard of that one?
No.
Okay, it's
I'll write it down though.
Yeah, Rappin' Nathic, RAPN. I don't know how to spell it, but anyway, the module is the biggest module I've ever seen. You can take a character from level 1 all the way to level 20, and it's 100% hack and slash.
I probably like that. Did you ever play the Bloodstone modules?
Yeah, I played the first 2. I didn't play the third one.
Yeah. Well, you can't win at those.
No.
There's no way. It doesn't matter how powerful characters you got. You're not going to win those. Ridiculous.
Yeah. We did the whole series that ends with the Queen of the Demon Web Pits, where you're going to abyss. And that's another one that I always felt like you can never win. No matter how many times I've tried it, I may have survived it, but I never won it.
That's right. That's exactly right. We love those. We enjoyed. I don't think, my opinion is the modules back then were better, but I don't know if I'm right or not, but that's my opinion on it.
It's just a different style of play. Today it's more about feeling good when you play the game. Total party kills, TPKs don't happen hardly anymore. Right. And that's what I grew up on. I don't know how many times the whole party got killed.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so let's we could talk about D&D forever, but we better stop. So let's talk about Jack Be Nimble. Tell me a little bit about what the film is about, and what inspired you to write it and decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do on the film.
All right, so on February 10th of 2020, my wife died. Okay. And she got sick. We believe it was COVID, but they weren't testing for COVID at the time. It just appeared early. Yeah. And I was like in a really bad place. And I was getting drunk with a few of my friends, and we were reminiscing about gaming. And we're like, man, what's going to happen to us in another 20 years? We're all going to be in nursing homes. Our families will have ditched us there, and we'll all have dementia. And we'll believe that the doctors are demons and orcs, and we'll go on a quest against the establishment. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. I ought to write that. And immediately I stopped the drinking and stopped getting high every day. And I broke away from that grief I was feeling and started focusing all my energy into writing the story. And I wrote the story about a group of gamers living in a nursing home when one of them who has had delusions in the past becomes convinced that the doctors are demons and that they're trying to kill everybody. And the story goes on from there. And once I had that put together, I was like, I ought to sell this, or should I make it myself? And I was like, you know what? Let's make it myself.
I love the idea. I love the idea behind the movie. And I love the fact that you took such a devastating loss and turned it into something positive and productive. You know, that says a lot about who you are. That's really great.
Well, all the characters, all the gamers in the movie are based on my real friends, the people I've gamed with all of my life. You know, I'm still gaming. Two of the guys in my group I've been gaming with since like 1980.
I love it.
Cool.
You know, awesome. So we had all this stuff. Well, one of the characters in the movie is played by Brent Gaskins, African-American gentleman. And I based him on my friend Corey, who gamed with us for the past 25 years or so. And Corey died of COVID in July, in the middle of making the film.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So we dedicated the film to Corey and my wife. Yeah,
that's great. That's terrific. We had Miss Ling on the show, and she was raving about the movie. That is a pretty good get. How did you get her attached to it?
So I bumped into her in an elevator, of all places, and the character that she plays, I actually based on her acting. I was watching, Crank High Voltage.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's who I need to be my nurse. And I based the character on her. And then I'm in an elevator in New York, and she gets in the elevator with me, and we get to talking while we're riding up to our floors. And she told me that she was an actress. I was like, oh, what's your name? She goes, Bai Ling. And I go, Bai Ling, why do I know that name? Oh my God, you're Bai Ling.
Yeah. That was meant to be.
Right. I told her I had the screenplay that I wrote that based on her. And she's like, oh, that's nice. And I was like, would you be willing to look at it? And she's like, sure. So she gave me an email to send it to, and I sent it to her. The next day, she contacts me and goes, all right, I want to be in this.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. That says how good a script it is.
Most definitely. And Vernon Wells I'd worked with in the past. Similar story. I sent him the screenplay. He really wasn't interested in reading it, but he read it as a favor to someone that we both know. And he contacted me within 24 hours of receiving it. And he told me, you're putting me in this film.
That's pretty incredible, because I told you I'm a big fan of his. Was it Amber Road that you worked with him before?
No, that's the one we're working on right now.
Actually. Oh, that's what you're working on now. Well, you're creating quite the history with him.
Yeah, we did. What did we do? The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Then we did Impact Event and The Electric Man. And what else did we do? We did another one. Oh, and Social Distance. Filmed Social Distance right at the height of COVID, and it was all filmed from home.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think the movie I always remember him from was Commando. I think that was the big one that he was in back in the 80s, although he did a few. But that's kind of the one.
In the Road War, Gibson. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's really good in that one too. Yeah, it's pretty good. You've got a pretty solid cast, and Bai Ling, her, like, part of the reason I like her acting is that she's 100%. Once she says yes, you get like everything she's got in like every role, which is pretty awesome. You don't always get that, with actors, but she definitely gives it.
She showed up on the set, and she told me ideas that she had for the character I hadn't thought of. And we discussed it, and I let her run with her own ideas, because with the amount of experience that woman has and her ability to act, I would have been foolish to tell her no.
That's right. Yeah. That's just good directing right there.
Yeah. So When we finished the film, we had a cast party, a wrap party, and Vernon Wells and her, they're sitting there with their arms around each other's shoulder, and they're both giving these little speeches and stuff. And Vernon said that this was the only film he had worked on since working with Mel Gibson that he felt true magic from the moment he arrived to the moment he left. Yeah,
that's a pretty good compliment.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So the cast, you had a pretty good rapport. Everybody got along well. No set drama.
Oh, there's always set drama. There's always going to be something, but nothing that was game changing. Everything was resolved. We had this great production manager, Michelle Brown Houston. She was handling all the drama that happened behind the scenes. So I didn't see very much of it. I would hear about it in the evening after the day of work, but she took care of business.
What's more difficult, writing it or directing it?
Writing it.
Yeah.
Writing good dialogue is very difficult, and I'm not the best dialogue writer. So because of that, when I'm directing, what I do is I give someone the screenplay, and it tells them that the character says A, B, and C. And I say, well, if A, B, and C don't feel natural to you, do it your way. And I let them expand upon their characters in their own way. And I really believe by doing that makes the characters more believable, because my style of writing might not match your style of talking.
That's right. Yeah, that's really smart. And I was going to ask you that if you gave them leeway, in how they portrayed the character. I think that's really smart.
Yeah, and you see it in the scenes, particularly when the gamers are gaming. They're all laughing. I mean, they're laughing so bad that we had to reshoot the scene over and over and over again to get the right shot, because they were just having such a good time.
Mark, how did we not get you in this film?
I don't know. I miss all the good stuff. That's how.
I mean, I think that's what it was lacking, was you needed that guy that was not a gamer but was trying to be a gamer.
Exactly.
Comic relief.
That would have been me.
I know.
I could have pulled that off.
I think I met Mark about 6 months after we filmed for the first time. I met him. What was
Story of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day late, dollar short. I got a dollar. That's the story of my life right there.
Hey, you don't have to go away mad.
All right, I'll come back.
So Mark, when you guys met, talk a little bit about, because I'm looking at these cards as they're coming up. This is exactly the type of movie that lends itself to a dead card set. I mean, is that what you thought when you and Steve, talked about it?
Yeah, I mean, when he contacted me about it and sent me the concept for the movie, and then of course he sent the nice the media pack, I guess.
Yeah.
And had the movie and everything. Started watching it, and I was like, man, this is perfect. Like, this is just like the perfect thing for the dead cards. And I kind of got looking through everything that he had sent, and I was like, man, I like this character sheet too. So that's how I ended up incorporating that in the card, of course, as the border. I thought, man,
I love it. Yes,
this is really nice. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of a natural thing, I mean, it was just kind of fell into place, and it was really easy for me to. I mean, he sent really nice images, which is always a plus. A lot of times I get, like if we would take a screenshot of us right here, it's just really hard to work with.
Yeah.
But he had some really nice images, and then, they just kind of laid out really well. And just, I don't know, the whole thing just really worked. It was just really fun. It was a fun set to make. And of course, I've always been fans of, Vernon and By, and then of course getting acquainted with the actors that I didn't know. They're really cool. I kind of hooked up a little bit with Brent. I still need to get back with him, but just a really nice guy. And of course, Steve is awesome to work with. So it was fun. I think it was definitely meant to be.
Yeah. So, Steve, so your friend that Carl is based on, does he have a hat like that?
Okay. The goofy little horns and everything. Yeah. Okay. So Corey, my friend's name was Corey. He didn't come to games wearing costumes and stuff. But if I handed him a costume piece, I don't care what it was, he would put it on. So the hat was meant to be a joke. It was not meant to be anything serious, you know? And it was funny when we finished shooting, Brent asked me if he could have it. I was like, no, I'm not giving him my hat.
That's terrific. So what the tabletop games they're playing in the movie, what are they playing?
So they're playing a totally made up game. Okay. Look, the books that you see there are for a game called Mythic Steel. Peter Bryant, the guy who plays Mammon, the devil in the movie, he is getting to come out with a game called Mythic Steel. So I got the covers of his game and we just wrapped them around a book, you know, random books that we had. And that's what we used. And we made a lot of references to Dungeons and Dragons without actually saying Dungeons and Dragons. We said D&D, you know, because D&D we're using as a generic reference for just role playing in general.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So his, you know, his look, you know, the look of the demon, you know, who came up with that? Was that you that came up with that? Did you have an idea that you brought to somebody to kind of make it real?
Well, I wanted the devil, I wanted Mammon to be the like a hypersexualized male that is a cross between the guy you would see as the wife beater in a 1950s movie and like the old Italian mobsters, you know, like somewhere in between the two of them. So that was my core concept. And then I gave the makeup artist total free reign to design it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. He's a disturbing image, I think.
Well played. How about
that? Yes.
And Pete, the guy who's playing that character, he's a gamer. He's not an actor. He's with me all my life. And I asked him to step in and play the role because he plays such great characters on our games. I thought he could handle it. And he's proven to me that character and then several other characters he's played in shorts we've done. He is a phenomenal actor. Man, I really believe the man could make a career of it.
That's awesome. Does he have interest in making a career of it?
None at all. He the military.
That's great. Yeah, that's pretty great. Will we get a Jack Be Nimble 2?
I ended the movie in such a way as to imply the possibility. So that's
exciting.
Still have a chance.
Yeah.
Can we get Bruce Campbell involved?
I would love to. If I could get Bruce Campbell involved, hell, I would put my own money behind it.
Yeah. It just seems like a movie that he would fit in.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce Campbell is probably out of my price range. So I come up with some really good investors. So if you know any rich people, send them my way.
All right, Mark, you got to step up, buddy.
I mean, if Bruce can't do it, I mean, I'm available.
I mean, if you send him a dead card and just said, you know, maybe someday you can do me a favor. Maybe that would work.
I think he's going to be at Pandemic. I think I'm going to see him this weekend, actually.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, where's Pandemic at?
It's in Atlanta. So I'm going to, well, I need to go see him. I'll take him a set of cards and say, look, there's going to be a part 2. I think he'd be a great fit.
That's right.
I can sell this.
You need to do a mock-up.
I mean, he'll probably return it, but I can sell it. He'll probably keep the gift receipt, but you know, I'm going to try.
Did you guys ever see Bubba Hotep?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you can see there's a lot of similarities between my movie and Bubba Hotep.
Yeah. I almost asked you that earlier, and I was like, well, I don't want to ask that. But yeah, that's because it takes place in the retirement home. Yeah. And that's why I thought Bruce Campbell, because I was like, he would fit in that.
Bubba Hotep is one of my favorite films. I love
Great
that
film.
film. So it probably inspired me a little bit.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's terrific. Do you have an idea in mind if you decide to do a sequel?
Yes. Yes, I already have an outline. I just haven't written a screenplay yet.
Awesome.
All right.
And I can't tell you it because it would give away stuff about this film.
Yeah. Will you use some of the same actors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm invested.
That were involved in the film have reached out to me at different times, asking me to be involved in another big project like that. We all became kind of a family. Most of us are staying in touch with each other on a regular basis. It's really cool. I never expected to like these strangers that I was bringing from all over the country as much as I do.
But I mean, that means that you're good at what you do. You know, you brought these people in, they love the experience. So now they're wanting to recreate that experience with you. I mean, that says a lot. That's really great.
Yes. And you know, I'm doing these gaming conventions and stuff, and we're marketing the film. These guys are using their own money to come join me at these conventions. You know, I can't afford to be flying people to all these places to market the film. So they're putting their own money behind my work. And that means the world to me. So
where can we see it? Where can we find Jack Be Nimble?
Okay. If you want to see it right now, this week, on Wednesday, Manchester Liftoff, okay, it's in England, kicks off. If you buy the $15 ticket, you get to see every film for the next 30 days, Manchester Liftoff, and Jack Be Nimble is one of them.
That's exciting. That's a cheap price. I mean, that's one movie ticket. One movie ticket.
Bucks, 27 films.
Wow.
Yeah. And the platform that they're using to show it is Vimeo.
Okay. Yeah. Vimeo, that works really well. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I think what we want to show it in the studio. So we, like in studio, we bring a group together and then we watch, you know, some movies that guests have been in or are making. So that's our plan, is to get it and watch it in the studio.
Okay. Yeah. Other than that, if you physically go see it like on a big screen, the next screening that we're doing is the New Jersey Horror Con and Film Festival in Atlantic City, the first weekend in April. Ling will be there. Vernon Wells will be there. All the gamers will be there.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you an experienced, convention booth operator?
I've run a lot of convention booths. I hate it. I despise running conventions. I'd rather just walk the floor and meet people.
Yeah. I'm an ex-comic book store owner, and I much prefer to be walking around and, networking, let's say, than running the booth. Yeah. Mark knows a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be there, and my wife she'll be over there by herself, and I'm just gone.
Yeah.
It's like, somebody stopped by looking for you. I was like, yeah, I probably ran into them after the fact.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sit still. As you can see, I keep
It's
moving.
tough. The conventions are exciting, so it's hard to sit in one place. You got to move around.
It's a lot of work too. I've been working. I mean, I haven't touched my stuff since October last year, and I've been working, putting in some late nights trying to get all my new stuff together, trying to go back to the old stuff, just trying to make sure everything's there. Like, man, I'm still not. I was like, yeah, I go in a couple days, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, damn, I forgot to pack this. So I'm back.
It's not the old days where you just show up, set up a table, and throw cards on it.
No,
you do that anymore.
You gotta try to make it interesting if possible.
That's right. It's a competitive world out there. You got to draw people over.
And I was kind of experimenting a little bit when I was doing this set of cards for Jack Be Nimble. A little bit different color experimentation. Just trying to change it up a little bit from my normal thing. And I think when you're dealing with a media that size, you need to have, it needs to draw your eye, and so it needs to be colorful and just kind of stand out. Which
I really like what you did with them. Everybody that I've shown them to really likes the cards. Honestly, I like the cards so much. I want to talk to you about designing cards for a game.
Ooh, Mark, there you go.
Well, yeah. And I appreciate that, Steve. That's what I've been trying to. I was like, what kind of game can I make cards for? Like, I need something. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just not good at that side of it. I'd like to make the cards, but I'm like, man, I just have no idea I have no idea how to put.
That's where Steve comes in. He'll tell you what to make. You just make them.
That's pretty much what it would be. It's I have an idea for a game where it's an assassination game. Nice. And I can't give details because I want to finish it, but it's a game about killing off everybody else that's playing.
Can I be the body? Can my card just say the body, and I'll just be like.
If I can work out a deal with Mark on this as we move forward, absolutely.
I can be an insert, like a bonus card. Not everybody gets the body, just a few people.
Yeah, like you find it in trunks or maybe at the bottom of the lake.
No.
Well, I like that. Yeah, I could be like I'm the body, but I'm in different, death poses.
Right. That could work.
I could be a set unto myself, a subset. Collect all of the body.
I mean, it's kind of a theme, the dead cards,
Yeah. I think we're on to something here. I think that's the best thing that has come out of this podcast. The body.
So Steve, just because I don't know, what kind of things did the actors think about the cards? I haven't really. I've heard a few things, but I haven't heard from everyone.
The cards with the character sheets on the back I got a lot of very good feedback on. They really like the being able to turn them over and see the little details about the character that they were playing. The right. Front of the cards, the way you did the whole Celtic knot design, and you put the devil in the background, you don't see him clearly in every image, but in the images where you do see him, he almost seems like he's influencing everybody, and that,
I like it.
Yeah.
That's really good. Do you have a back of one of the cards, Mark? Can you pop one up?
I do, but I think I have everything packed.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I have most of that stuff packed.
Don't spring anything on Mark.
So what we did, we designed a character sheet for all of the gamers, for the devil, and for
that's a great idea.
Well, actually, we didn't do the devil, but we did it by Ling's character as well. And because we have these characters, they give you a lot of insight into who that player is, like it was a D&D character sheet, even though it's totally made up game.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's so cool.
I forgot about the book here. So I've got.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Get the glare off of that.
Yeah, that's nice though. I tell you, Mark, you're pretty talented with that stuff. That's pretty good.
Now this was Steve's stuff. This is stuff that he sent.
Steve, you're pretty talented with that stuff. That's pretty good.
Now, my guy who did the special effects for the movie designed those cards.
Yeah.
Designed those character sheets, I mean.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The dog came in again. Close the door.
You better go get him. Well, Steve, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a blast. You have to come back. You got it, because I know you've got you've got like a ton of projects that are in various, points of production. So you got to come back again to talk about the new stuff.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, can I mention a couple things real quick?
Well, yeah. I got a few last questions for you. So let's see if you hit them before I ask.
Okay. One is if you go to stevewollett.com, my name, you can see my shoe designs. I have a whole line of shoes that I designed. They're Italian made, handmade.
Really?
Yep. Okay.
What kind of designs do you have on the shoe?
Well, the shoes are all based on nerd stuff. So I'm trying to make.
Well, I was hoping you'd say.
you know. But like one of the pairs of shoes is called Critical Kicks. You know, another one's called Nerdpocalypse. That's like these sexy high-heeled shoes that a girl can wear or a guy can wear in the apocalypse and look good. You know, things like
Love
that.
What made you come up with that?
I don't know. I was probably high.
So you decide to design Italian leather shoes. Who do you go to do that?
I found a company in Italy that that's what they specialize in, making custom-made shoes. And I spoke with them, and we worked out the details of what I wanted and put them together.
That's awesome. I love that idea. So what's the website again?
SteveWollett.com.
Oh, easy enough. Easy enough.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, couple things before I let you go. One, anything else that you want to mention that you're working on that you have upcoming, we can kind of keep an eye out for.
Okay, so if you go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, you can see a number of books that I've written. The latest, God's Assassin, which is the story of a priest who murders people for the Pope.
Really? All right. Yeah, that sounds based on live events or true events.
It's based on a very near future, and cosmic horror, kind of a blend of the two.
Ooh, all right. That sounds pretty good, actually. All right. And you can get that on Amazon.
Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It's on both of them, and a number of other fine book retailers.
Yeah, that's terrific. Okay, so last thing before we wrap up, you gave us the website. Where else can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Steve Wollett on a number of social media things. You can also find me at Furious Nerd Productions, at Nerd411. And do I have any more? I think that covers all of them. But I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I just started a TikTok account.
Nice, good for you. That's scary.
You can also find me, what's the new one? Fanbase. I have an account on Fanbase as well.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
So you've got all the bases covered.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter too much. I just don't like it.
It's an angry place.
Social media.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark, same question. Where can we find, all of these great cards that you're working on and anything else you got going on?
I am on thedeadcards.com. If you forget to put you can just go to deadcards.com, because I realized that a lot of people's like, I can't find deadcards.com. I was like, well, it's so I have both domains.
Very nice.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and all those are, of course, at the Dead Cards. So pretty easy.
I'm kind of surprised that you were able to get both those domains, that nobody else had grabbed those.
I'm sure it's not a real popular thing at the time, because I went out and got all the email addresses I could find, and just to have.
I know, I've been there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much. This has been the best, and let's do a part 2 at some point.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Okay, hold on, guys, 1 second. How fun was that? Absolutely love when we get a visit from Mark with the Dead Cards. He's such a great guy. If you haven't checked out the Dead Cards, do yourself a favor and go check them out. It's amazing. The stuff he's doing and the sets that he's putting together, the people he's working with, you'll enjoy those. And if you're going to a convention, you can't beat having one of these cards that's unique. Take it to a convention, get the person to sign it. Terrific. I guarantee that they haven't seen anything like that. They're going to really get a kick out of you bringing that to them. So check that out, thedeadcards.com. And Steve Wollett, what a talented guy. And, he's just nerdy and fun and talented and just a terrific guy. So, and, just a lot of fun talking with him. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That for me, that was just a great time. Got to nerd out a little bit. So I enjoyed that. If you haven't done so yet, we could use the help with our YouTube channel, Meisterkhan Pod. Please subscribe. That would just be the best. You can find all of our episodes, audio and video. We're up to about 360 or so now on our website, meisterkhan.com. It'll let you know if we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention. All that'll be on the website, meisterkhan.com. And there's a fun, geeky blog from Brett that you'll enjoy as well. He's such a talented writer. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.